All right, here we go. Welcome into the 49ers Report live here on Chat Sports. I am Chase Sr. Give me a follow on Twitter at Chase_Senior. Coming up, a loaded show for you today, and we appreciate all of you for rocking with us and making the 49ers Report and Chat Sports a part of your day. Before we hop into today's show, let's let the audience build up a little bit. Let us know where you're watching from. Chat Sports based in Dallas, Texas. That's where I'm kicking it right now. And all week it's been kind of gloomy, rainy, very weird Dallas weather throughout the entire week. But today, finally, probably because the 49ers Report went live, it's beautiful, it's sunny. But get into the comment section and let us know where you're watching from. Paul, watching from Nevada. How about Riverside, California, from David out there? Riverside, California, really nice area too. Isaac, watching from Texas. Terrell saying, let's go Niners. Brian tuned in from Pittsburgh, as I know the faithful is watching from all across the entire country and the world. Byron, tuning in from Virginia Beach. 826.7, Lincoln, Nebraska. Okay, repping Lincoln, Nebraska. I see you. Scion, watching from New Jersey. Daryl from Concord, California. Sydney from Oakland, California. A little bit of a rivalry there with the Raiders, maybe. Danny Hayes tuned in from Redwood City. San Mateo from Rob. Gesser, San Jose, California. Junior from Long Beach. How about Hawaii? All right, Renzo, I see you. Let us know what time it is in Hawaii. I'm always bad with the time change and everything. My dad actually grew up in Australia. My cousins still live there, and we would fly out there probably every other year growing up. The time change was killer. You'd get there, and it'd be totally opposite than what I was used to growing up on the East Coast. Matthew Hassan, Newport Beach. El Paso, Texas from Expara. Junior, Long Beach. Cesar, South Texas. Okay, you're not far from us here in Dallas. New Jersey, Utah, Sacramento, Fresno, California, New Jersey as well. Am I seeing Melbourne too in Australia? We have Niners fans tuned in from Australia. You love to see it. Antonio, Arizona. Trey area, I like that. Trey Lance, pick number 3, obviously by the 49ers in the NFL draft. One of the big sayings, it is Trey area. Hey, 49ers schedule was released last night. We did an entire video on it, breaking down every single game. Coming up on today's show, I'm going to predict win-loss record for the 49ers in 2021. Let's quickly run through it, though, as we let the audience pile in and build up. Week 1, on the road against the Detroit Lions. Week 2, in Philly against the Eagles. Week 3, they come home to Levi Stadium. Hopefully fans are on hand for the first time since the 2019 season. They take on the Green Bay Packers on Sunday Night Football. Week 4 against the Seattle Seahawks. Week 5 on the road against the Arizona Cardinals. An early bye in Week 6, which is weird because let's say the 49ers make it to the Super Bowl, right? They'd have to play 16 consecutive weeks because of that early bye week in an 18-week, 17-game schedule. Week 7 against the Colts on Sunday Night Football as Carson Wentz comes to town with Frank Reich. Week 8 on the road against the Chicago Bears. Maybe Trey Lance and Justin Fields match up against one another for the first time. We'll see. I don't know. I think Jimmy Garoppolo could still be the starter. Week 9 against the Arizona Cardinals. Week 10 against the Rams on Monday Night Football. 4 primetime matchups for the 49ers this upcoming season. Week 11 on the road against the Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer. Week 12, 49ers come back home against the Minnesota Vikings. Week 13 on the road against the Seahawks on Sunday Night Football. Week 14 against Joe Burrow and the Bengals. And the 49ers wrap up the 2021 slate Week 15 against the Falcons. Thursday Night Football in Week 16 against the Tennessee Titans. Week 17 against the Texans. Week 18 against the Los Angeles Rams. So which game are you most pumped for this upcoming season in 2021? Let me know in the comment section which game you're looking forward to the most. And as I mentioned, we did release the schedule last night here on the 49ers Report, talking about every game within a half hour of that official release coming out. If you didn't check it out, be sure to do so on the 49ers Report. And if you haven't subscribed, go to youtube.com/49ers TV. Scion says, I think the 49ers are going to go 18-0. It's not possible. 17 games, 18-week schedule. But if they do go undefeated, that'd be a new record. 15-2 from Robert Slavin. Let me know, though, what your favorite game is. Danny, 13-5. I dig the record. Orlando. Okay, now we have a game here. Saying the Green Bay Packers on Sunday Night Football, Week 3, as the 49ers return home to Santa Clara at Levi Stadium. No bye for us? Yes, Ion. There is a bye. It's in Week 6. No bye for fans? Maybe, because the faithful, they are diehards out there. 49ers Nation saying the 49ers are going to go 13-5 or 12-6. Coming up later on today's live show, I'm going to give you my record breakdown for how I think the 49ers are going to do. Other games coming in, Packers, Colts. A lot of people going with that Green Bay matchup, Week 3 at Levi Stadium. Look, if Aaron Rodgers is going to play and be on the Packers, that's going to be a legitimate matchup between two teams who are going to be vying for that NFC Championship and a rematch of the NFC Championship that 49ers fans know very well that happened back in 2019 when the San Francisco 49ers beat down the Green Bay Packers. I mentioned it earlier. If you haven't subscribed to the 49ers Report, do so right now. What we like to do here at Chat Sports, an interactive YouTube channel, what makes what we do cool, we allow you to be a part of the show and we interact with all of you and we appreciate you for just being some of the best fans out there. So go to youtube.com/49ers TV, or do you see that red subscribe button down below? Hit that and subscribe for the best 49ers news, rumors, live shows as we go live every single Thursday. The 49ers Report. We've been killing it here on the channel. This is my second live show. Just took over the 49ers Report officially last week, and I'm so pumped up to see what this upcoming season has in store, especially this offseason, which is still gonna be crazy. Who's gonna win the NFC West in 2021? That's my next question for all of you watching live here on the 49ers Report. Type SF if you think it's gonna be the boys. Type ARI if you think it's gonna be the Cardinals. SEA for the Seahawks, or LAR for the Rams. I looked at the betting odds for the NFC West favorites. The Rams and 49ers tied for the favorites heading into the 2021 season. Earl Williams saying, of course, it's going to be San Francisco. Byron saying San Francisco as well. Scion saying San Francisco. CrocsBox52 saying, I miss Thomas. Hey, I miss Thomas too, but you know what the positive is of me taking over the 49ers Report? Thomas did a great job. He helped grow this channel. He's in Atlanta, though. He's going to help us continue to grow here at Chat Sports. But because I'm at the Chat Sports headquarters, that means more 49ers videos for you all, so it's a win-win scenario for everybody. I'm seeing San Francisco. San Francisco. I don't see anybody saying that any other team in the NFC West is going to win this division other than the 49ers, and I tend to agree. It all comes down to health, and I think if the 49ers are indeed healthy, they should win this division, a division that I think is going to be the best, most competitive, most intriguing, and most compelling in this 2021 season. I said that I'm new to the 49ers Report. Couple weeks in, officially taking over here for Thomas Mott, who once again did a great job growing this channel. If you haven't given me a follow on Twitter or Instagram, you can do so right now. The handle's right there on your screen, at Chase_Senior. Give me a follow. It's the same handle on both social media platforms. And if you DM me, I promise you I will respond, and we can go back and forth talking about the 49ers. And if you disagree, that's fine. You can let me know because, hey, I'm all for having open-minded conversations. A lot of America, they don't like to do that. I do, though. So let me know if you're ready to start the show. And one way you can let me know if you're ready to start the show is if you like this video. You see that thumbs up icon? Hit the thumbs up icon and like this video. We only have 22 likes right now. That's disrespectful. Can we get that number up? Hit that thumbs up icon, like this video before we start the show. We have more than 100 people watching live right now, so I know you can do your work. Help me out. Help us out here at Chat Sports and like this video. That number is already going up. Can we get the 50 likes? Can we get the 50 likes? Let's try to get the 50 likes before we start today's show. I know the faithful, you guys are diehards. You rock out. Some of the best, most passionate fans across all of sports. Hit that thumbs up icon, like this video before we start today's show. Appreciate all of you for kicking it with us, making Chat Sports and the 49ers Report a part of your day. Can't wait to get to what we have coming up on today's show and it's going to be a really, really good one. We also have 2 live Q&A mailbags on the 49ers Report live here on Chat Sports on YouTube. So there's a couple ways you can get involved. You can either use the hashtag 49ers that allows us to see your questions, and I will answer them live here on the show in those 2 Q&A mailbags, or you can support us even further by super chatting us. You pay us, you support the 49ers Report, you support me, producer Jeremy, everybody here at Chat Sports, and you help feed us lunch. So super chat us, all right? That's one way to do it. That allows you to completely jump the line, and we will answer your questions first. Everybody throwing the thumbs up icons in the chat. You guys are the best. Really appreciate that. Shane Kingsley putting a cucumber in the chat. Not really sure what that means, but you know what I have right here, which is funny that you do that, cucumber water. It's pretty good. If you haven't tried it, I recommend it. I've been on a health kick for a little while. You throw a little mint in there as well. That's really, really good stuff. So cucumber icon, not sure what that means, but Shane Kingsley, I do appreciate the humor. All right, here's what we have coming up on the 49ers Report live. We're going to bring you the latest news and rumors. 10 rookies signed today with the 49ers. Also, NFL executives broke down the Trey Lance pick, and some people are really, really high on the other selections that the 49ers made in the 2021 NFL Draft. 2 live Q&A mailbags. You ask me a question, I answer them. Pretty simple. Can't wait to do that because I love interacting with all of you. And last but not least, I am going to break down this 2021 schedule. And I'm going to predict the 49ers record. And we're going to go through every single game, and I'm going to decide and choose which games the 49ers win, which games they lose. The over-under by Vegas has been set at 10.5. Do I smash the over? Do I go under? That's all coming up now on the 49ers Report live here on Chat Sports. Welcome into the 49ers Report. I am Chase Sr. Appreciate all of you for watching us live here on YouTube. Hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at Chase_Senior. Last week, I officially took over the 49ers Report, and I'd love to interact with all of you, so give me a follow and hit me up at Chase_Senior on both Twitter and Instagram. I'm looking forward to speaking with all of you and taking your questions. So the 49ers have signed 10 rookies today, this coming in just earlier this afternoon. Aaron Banks, offensive guard out of Notre Dame, has signed. So too has Jalen Moore, the offensive tackle out of Western Michigan. Diamador Lenore, who compared himself to a hyena, talking to the media yesterday, cornerback out of Oregon, has also signed, as well as Talanoa Hufanga, safety out of USC, who's going to play a little bit of linebacker. Elijah Mitchell, running back out of Louisiana, inked his contract as well. So too did these 5 players. Alfredo Gutierrez. This is an offensive lineman who is from Mexico and has a lot of potential. We'll see what he can bring to the table. He signed a contract too, as did Justin Hilliard, linebacker out of Ohio State. Josh Peterson, tight end out of Louisiana Monroe, the son of former Eagles coach Doug Peterson, who won Super Bowl 52. Elijah Sullivan inked a contract as well, safety out of Kansas State, and Austin Watkins, wide receiver out of UAB. Those last 4 players, undrafted free agents that the 49ers have brought in for the start of minicamp. Speaking of minicamp, it kicks off tomorrow on Friday for the 49ers. Kyle Shanahan and the coaching staff going to be able to get their first look at their rookie draft picks, as well as the undrafted free agents who they signed, who we just talked about. And as we know, all eyes are going to be on the 49ers' number 3 overall pick, quarterback out of North Dakota State, Trey Lance. All in all, 7 draftees are going to be competing in rookie minicamps, as well as those 4 undrafted free agents. And speaking of Trey Lance, let's get to him, because Mike Sando of The Athletic spoke with NFL executives, and they weighed in and broke down this Trey Lance pick by the Niners. Basically what he did, reached out to multiple anonymous NFL executives about Trey Lance, and the executives focused on the selection of him and kind of went into what he's going to bring to the table. Most of the reviews from these anonymous NFL executives and former GMs, positive. And I'm on that train because, as you know, I'm really high on Trey Lance. I think he has unlimited potential. And I don't care if he doesn't start right away. I'm looking at the future, and I think the 49ers made this draft pick with the future in mind because they understand, look, this guy might be raw, but he has a ton of potential, and if we get him right and we develop him at a right clip, he could take over the league. So was picking Trey Lance the right move for the 49ers at number 3 in the 2021 NFL Draft? Slide into the comments below, get your votes in, type R for yes, Chase, it was the right pick, or type W for nah, it was the wrong pick. Let's see what Mike Sando and these NFL executives had to say about Trey Lance. This is what one anonymous NFL executive had to say. You can't pick the Alabama guy, Mac Jones, and have it turn out to be Daniel Jones. You have to pick the guy that looks the part and has some big-time upside. Lance is starting exactly where the Buffalo guy, Josh Allen, started. High grit, high want-to, works at it, loves the game, all those things that make you feel good about him developing. Now, look, I know I'm new to the 49ers report, but I have said that Trey Lance, with his college situation, him being somewhat raw, but also his athletic traits, reminds me a lot of Josh Allen, and this is why. Both Josh Allen and Trey Lance, coming out of Wyoming and North Dakota State, were deemed as raw prospects, but you could not deny the boatloads of potential and all of the athletic gifts that they do possess. Josh Allen, Wyoming, somewhat of an unknown draft prospect. So too was Trey Lance before both of those guys burst onto the scene. And Josh Allen at Wyoming and earlier on in his NFL career with the Buffalo Bills had some concerns with his accuracy. At Wyoming, he was completing about 55% of his passes. Last year with the Buffalo Bills, that figure almost soared to 80. Trey Lance also has some concerns with his mechanics and his accuracy, but I think once he pairs up with Kyle Shanahan and this offensive coaching staff, they're going to be able to hone in on that and develop this player. And once again, I can't emphasize this enough. That NFL executive said you can't pick Mac Jones because he has a limited ceiling and doesn't have the athletic upside of a guy like Trey Lance. That is why Josh Allen, Trey Lance were picked when they were, and so many people are so high on these prospects because once they develop, and if you just kind of slowly bring them along, they have an opportunity to play at an MVP level. Trey Lance will, in my opinion, in the future. Josh Allen did last year. Let's move on to what another anonymous NFL executive had to say about Trey area. Trey Lance is this ball of clay, and the only thing is whether he can process at the next level because he just doesn't have the experience. But all the talent is there. The mental part seems to be there. The personality seems to be there. All the pieces are there. He is developmental, so it makes sense to keep Jimmy G for now. I've voiced what I think the 49ers should do. They have a win-now, Super Bowl-ready roster. So I think the smart play, if Trey Lance isn't ready, you start Jimmy Garoppolo from week 1, and if he continues to play well, continue to play him because your chances of winning a Super Bowl higher with the veteran than it is with the rookie in Trey Lance. So I don't think it hurts to take the same approach that the Kansas City Chiefs took with Patrick Mahomes and Alex Smith. Let's slowly bring along Patrick Mahomes and play the veteran. Same thing could happen in San Francisco. So does it make sense to start Jimmy G in week 1? I voiced my opinion. Are you with me? Type Y for yes or type N for no. Hey, for all my 49ers fans watching out there, give me a follow on Twitter and Instagram at Chase_Senior. You can even let me know if my takes are trash, or you can let me know if you agree with me. I'm going to answer any of your questions and interact with all of you. So give me a follow on Twitter at Chase_Senior. Those handles are in the description on this video below. Let's focus on some 49ers draft picks other than Trey Lance. And I want to hone in here on the offensive guard out of Notre Dame, Aaron Banks, selected in the second round by the 49ers, pick number 48 after they traded back from 43 overall. This guy is a massive dude at 6'5", 325 pounds. And the question that a lot of people had after the 49ers selected him was this: is he a scheme fit? And originally, I wasn't sure. I think a couple things are in play here. I think, yes, he is more of a scheme fit than I originally thought, but I also think that with the selection of Trey Lance, Kyle Shanahan has some plans in place to tinker with this offense and go with a more physical running approach because Trey Lance possesses that running quality. Here's what Assistant General Manager Adam Peters had to say about the selection of Aaron Banks and this prospect as a whole. And just to let you know, Adam Peters is probably going to be a general manager at some point in the league moving forward. At the pro day, you saw the real quickness for Aaron Banks. So for someone that big to be that quick, is he as quick as former Stanford and current Falcon center Drew Dahlman? No, probably not. But if you combine a guy who's that big and has good enough feet like he has, and even if he's not as quick as he needs to be, he's so big that if he gets on a guy, it's really hard to get around him. That's Adam Peters, who's been one of the 49ers' main scouts for a long time, talking about a pick that a lot of people had thought was risky. But I thought he shedded some good insight on the selection of Aaron Banks and the potential and the plans that the 49ers have for him moving forward. Maybe he's not like the quickest guy, but for his size at 325 pounds, he does move pretty well. Let's pivot to Ambry Thomas, cornerback out of Michigan, who the 49ers selected. I love this guy's confidence, and these guys spoke with the media yesterday, and Ambry Thomas had some great quotes to the media. He said, quote, "I feel like my play will take care of my pockets." That's what he said when people asked him and when he realized that the California state income tax was sky high. I like that confidence from the rookie. I especially like confidence coming from defensive backs because you're out on an island out there, and as the NFL rule changes have changed, they've gone away from favoring defensive backs and more so to favoring wide receivers. So if you lose confidence on the outside as a cornerback, you're kind of screwed. Ambry Thomas also had this to say about the 49ers playing in Detroit against the Lions in week 1. "We got to put the beat down on them. Real bad." And further, he talked about he detailed his battle with colitis. He was in the hospital for a long period of time in 2019. A lot of people expected him to miss parts of the season, battled his way back, and was able to start week 1. He was, though, a COVID opt-out in 2020. But I think you're looking at a guy in Ambry Thomas, who the 49ers, when they interviewed, realized has some swagger and has some confidence. So let's rate and scale this Ambry Thomas swag meter. Get into the comments and let me know. Scale it for me from 1 to 10 because in my opinion, Ambry Thomas, he's a pretty bad man. And I think he has the potential to possibly play right from the get-go in the secondary as a solid depth piece. Other 49ers rookies who talked to the media yesterday, it included Diamador Lenore, cornerback out of Oregon, as well as Talanoa Hufanga, safety out of USC, who's going to be a hybrid guy who can play both safety but also can get in the box at the linebacker position. There have been so many people raving about the selection of Talanoa Hufanga out of USC in the 5th round of the NFL draft. Not only is it great value, but a lot of people believe that the 49ers got a potential diamond in the rough and a stud who can contribute right away, but also be a long-term starter for this team. And I love the excitement that Talanoa Hufanga has for just being drafted. He was speaking with the media yesterday, and he said, "I just still can't believe this is real." So that tells me this guy has the drive and the will to be successful and prove himself as a late-round draft pick. But when you watch him play on some of his highlight clips, this guy's a stud, and I think he's going to bring an attitude and a swagger to this 49ers defense that the faithful is really going to like. Former 49ers GM Scott McCloughan said, "Man, this guy has the potential to be a really solid player, so keep an eye out for it." Talanoa Hufanga. Once again, for my 49ers fans watching Bang Bang Niner Gang, give me a follow on Twitter at Chase_Senior. I'm going to pull up my Twitter feed right now, and I'm going to shout some of you out who gave me a follow. Appreciate Vinny Boy for shooting me a follow. Appreciate Reen for giving me a follow as well. Tanya, hit the follow button. Thank you very much. Amo is following me too. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you for following me. Let's see on Instagram. Is anybody giving me a follow on Instagram? It's the same handle on both, so I appreciate all of you for rocking with me. Laurie David, Lindsay Ray, Dallas Nelson, Matt Jackson, Ahmad Sam. You guys are the best. Hey, coming up, we have a 49ers mailbag, our first of 2. A couple ways you can get involved with these mailbags. You can either hashtag 49ers, or you can support the 49ers Report and us here at Chat Sports by super chatting. That allows you to kind of just jump the line, and we'll be able to answer your questions right from the get-go if you do Super Chat us. So once again, get into the comments right now. I want to answer all of your questions related to the 49ers. It can be anything. So hashtag 49ers or Super Chat us, and we will be sure to answer all of your questions. Shout out to producer Jeremy. So we hired him back a couple of weeks ago. I'm somewhat new here at Chat Sports. I started in, March 1st is when I officially started. Jeremy was hired a little bit after me, and Jeremy is producing his first 49ers Report Live while I'm doing my first 49ers Report Live solo. So shout out to Jeremy for just killing it and killing the game right now. Help us here at Chat Sports get to 250,000 subscribers. Currently, we're almost getting there. Slowly but surely, 246,562 of you have subscribed to our main Chat Sports YouTube channel. We're hitting you with the latest news and rumors on the NFL as well as the NBA. So for those of you who are interested in the NFL as a whole, as well as the NBA outside of the 49ers, subscribe to our main Chat Sports YouTube channel by going to youtube.com/chatsportstv and help us get to 250,000 subscribers. First question on this 49ers Report mailbag coming in from David Vielma. $5 super chat. You're the best. 49ers released running back Austin Walter. Who's the odd man out? Keep Hasty? David, that's a really good question. And Jeremy, if we can pull up the running back depth chart, that would be great. Because with the 49ers drafting Trey Sermon as well as Elijah Mitchell and signing Wayne Gallman, they have a loaded running back room. And they're probably only going to carry 3, 4, maybe 5 running backs on the 53-man roster. This is a loose depth chart so far of the 49ers running back room. Raheem Mostert is RB1. I have Jeff Wilson slated in at RB2. Trey Sermon, a third-round pick. I think he vaults to running back number 3, especially because he brings a skill set that those other aforementioned guys don't. Wayne Gallman, I think, is a signing that has flown under the radar. He might be running back 4, but he can still serve and has the talent to be a running back 2 or 3. And then you have Elijah Mitchell, who you spent a 6th-round pick on. He's a 4-3 guy who compared himself to Alvin Kamara. I like his upside. We'll see if that speed translates to the NFL level. And to answer your question, David Vielma, maybe JaMycal Hasty is the odd guy out. I'm not sure they keep him. He did have a rushing touchdown last year. But I think when you look at the talent with that running back crew, Hasty might be the odd guy out. It's going to be a really tough decision when they trim down from their 90-man roster to 53. Next question coming in from 49ers Nation. Who do you think will have a bigger impact for the 49ers defense, Hufanga or Ambry Thomas? That's a fantastic question, 49ers Nation. I think maybe Hufanga is a guy who contributes right away on special teams, and Ambry Thomas has special teams ability as well. Back in 2019, he had a really electrifying kick return for a touchdown. So not only can he get down in coverage on special teams when I'm talking about Ambry Thomas, he can also return too. So maybe both of those guys make the 53-man roster and contribute right away on special teams. I just think in both instances, the 49ers got really good value. $5 super chat coming from Maniru Cole. Appreciate that $5 super chat. Okay, so the question didn't show up, but Jeremy was just relaying the question to me. So he's saying, Jeremy, Jimmy G is going to have a chip on his shoulder. Could he have a career season? Look, I've said this about Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, Jimmy Garoppolo, it's not like he can't play. The problem with Jimmy Garoppolo is that he cannot stay on the field. So he's been tremendous in terms of wins and losses for the 49ers and the Patriots throughout his entire career. There are just durability concerns. And I think that's why the 49ers moved up to number 3 to draft Trey Lance, because they realized, okay, Jimmy Garoppolo has talent. He's a good leader. The last time and the only time that he played a full season, we made it to a Super Bowl, but we can't continue to rely on him to stay healthy for the entire season and then trot out guys like Nick Mullins and C.J. Beathard. Doesn't give us a realistic chance to win and compete for a Super Bowl with a roster that is well-rounded, deep, talented and ready to win a Super Bowl now. So if Jimmy Garoppolo stays healthy, maybe he's able to fend off Trey Lance. And if he does, I do think that he can have a pretty solid season. And I do appreciate that super chat. This question coming in from Groovy Mama. All right, I see you grooving. Let's get it. Hey, Chase, what's the over-under for Niners wins this year, and how many games do you think they'll win? Hashtag 49ers. Hashtag 49ers at that. That's how we answer your questions live here on the show. So the over-under set by Vegas is 10.5. And I think that the 49ers are in play to win 11 or 12 games. But coming up, I'm going to break down every single game in this 2021 schedule and give you my win-loss prediction for the 49ers. So I'm not going to give you the exact answer just yet, but that gives you incentive to keep on watching the show. But the over-under from Vegas is set at 10.5. So get into the comments and let me know what you think, 49ers fans. Talk about this over-under being at 10.5. The highest in the NFL, Kansas City Chiefs at 12.5. 49ers not far behind. They're also top 5 in Super Bowl odds. But what do you think about their over-under for this season? Type O for over 10.5 wins. Type U for under 10.5 wins. Scion's been killing it in the chat. You're the best. Are we supposed to be worried because of how early the bye week is? I think the 49ers got unlucky with the bye week falling in week 6. Couple reasons for that. Injuries last year depleted this team and really ruined the season. I think there's no chance that they go 6-10 if they don't suffer so many injuries. Also, if the 49ers were to make it to the Super Bowl, let's throw out a hypothetical, they would have to play 16 consecutive weeks after week 6. That is a long stretch of continuous football with no breaks unless they get that number 1 seed in the NFC and have an opportunity to have a bye week. So I think you should be a little bit worried just because of the injury issues last year. I also think somewhat that the 49ers got screwed because the NFL damn well knows that the 49ers were ravaged by injuries last year. So here at Chat Sports, we have more than 246,000 subscribers. Help get us to 250,000 subscribers by going to youtube.com/chatsportstv. Us here at Chat Sports, we have grown rapidly, and to everybody who has subscribed, we greatly appreciate the support. But help us out even further. Go to youtube.com/chatsportstv and subscribe to our main Chat Sports YouTube channel because we hit you with the hard-hitting analysis, but we also like to have a ton of fun. And nobody out on YouTube or the internet or in media, if you want to call it that, is doing what we do here. So youtube.com/chatsportstv and subscribe right now. So, hey, a couple ways to get involved with our Q&A mailbags. You can either hashtag 49ers or you can super chat. Looks like we have another super chat coming in, and it's from one of our diehards. I think it's No or Noah or Noe. Let me know in the comments how to properly say your name, because I know last week you were saying goodbye to Thomas Mott and you super chatted us a couple of times, and I've seen you watching our shows day in, day out. So I really appreciate that. Let us know how to properly pronounce your name. What do you think about signing Richard Sherman just for red zone packages? I don't think you sign Richard Sherman just for red zone packages. Richard Sherman has said that he wants to play for another 2 to 3 years. So I think the plan would be for Richard Sherman to either start, if you wanted him to, because I still think he has gas left in the tank and good football in him, or you could use him as a depth piece. A guy who could come in nickel situations, or if opposing offenses go 4 or 5 wide receivers wide, Richard Sherman can play in those situations. Goal line situations, if you're worried about his back end speed and catch-up speed, that's a possibility as well. I really like bringing in Richard Sherman for this reason. Why not bring him in to mentor and teach guys like Ambry Thomas, who you spent a draft pick on, as well as Talanoa Hufanga and Diamador Lenore? Richard Sherman, he's an all-pro, Pro Bowler, future Hall of Famer. I say why not if he's willing to take a veteran discount. Another super chat, this one from Vance Doherty. Is the Niners' tendency to get injured a systemic thing, warm-ups, training, or physiology, or just bad luck? I think when it comes to injuries across the NFL, Vance, it just comes down to bad luck. Now, there have been instances across the NFL with a couple of teams where I think their training methods, their weightlifting practices can be problematic, and that does cause some injuries. But I think last year, it was just a mirage. It was just a really unlucky year. I also think you have to discuss this. 49ers made it all the way to the Super Bowl. So they were playing a bunch of extra football. And as we've seen history show, there's often a Super Bowl hangover for those teams that make it to the Super Bowl and either win or lose because they're playing so deep into the season. And their offseason calendar, their offseason clock is just thrown off. So I think there are a variety of reasons, including bad luck. This question coming in from Praveen Patia. Do you think the Niners win at least 11 or 12 games? Personally, I say 13-4 or 14-3 because not many difficult opponents besides division rivals. Yeah, and Praveen, coming up, I'm going to break down the 49ers schedule and give you my prediction for the win-loss record for every single week. I do think they're in play to win 11 or 12 games. 13-4, I could certainly see it happening. That's somewhat lofty. 14-3, even more so. I think there are difficult sections of the schedule, but overall, it's not a overwhelmingly difficult schedule. The 49ers did get hit hard this year, though, with a lot of travel, which I think could also play into some of these injuries, going back to that last question. But either way, I think 11-plus wins is in play for the 49ers. Sion with another question. If the 49ers sign Julio Jones, should we be worried about injuries for him or will he be just fine? So a couple things with Julio Jones. One, injury is a little bit of a concern. Two, his age is also a concern because he's in his early 30s and he has been getting injured the past couple of years. Body starting to break down a little bit. Still one of the best wide receivers in the league, though. Lastly, you can't sign Julio Jones because he's currently under contract with the Atlanta Falcons for the next couple of seasons. So that would have to come via trade. Now, earlier on this week, I did a video on the 49ers report breaking down 5 players who the 49ers could trade for. I did throw Julio Jones in that video, so be sure to check that one out. Next question coming in from Tyrone Bigham. Shout out to Dave Chappelle. What an avatar right there. The 49ers released Austin Walter, which wasn't a surprise, but they still have a pretty deep backfield. Who do you think makes the roster? So I answered a similar question earlier, but we can once again pull up the 49ers depth chart. This is very loose right now, okay? We don't know how things are going to shake out, so don't take this all too seriously. But right now as it stands, Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, Trey Sermon, Wayne Gallman, Elijah Mitchell, and JaMychal Hasty. Those are the 6 running backs currently on the 49ers roster. This comes down to team philosophy and how many players, running backs I should say, the team wants to keep. So some teams go with 3 running backs, and sometimes they're all active on game day. Some teams go with 4 running backs, and they're all active on game day. It depends on what Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch want to do. I think you go 4 running backs, and maybe you can get away with Elijah Mitchell getting on the practice squad. That's the tentative plan right now, and my best guess. But Austin Walter, look, undrafted guy out of Rice, didn't appear in any serious action. You're not really losing much by releasing him. But I'll tell you this, that 49ers backfield, it's in a good situation right now because there are a lot of really good players. Let's get to another question from Alfredo Hernandez. If the Rams let go of Troy Warner, do you think we should sign him? It's the brother of Fred Warner, who was an undrafted free agent who a lot of 49ers fans wanted the Niners to sign. Maybe. I mean, if you have a need to fill and you want to bring him in, why not? You're not really losing much in doing so. I know it would be a great story. We'll see what happens on that front. Noe, which 49ers player jersey should I get for the 2021 season? I need to upgrade my home jersey. So this is what I usually do in terms of buying jerseys. I like to get guys who are older than me because I don't feel comfortable rocking a jersey of a dude who's younger than me. I just feel weird in doing so. I like to buy jerseys of legends. So if you don't have like a Jerry Rice jersey, a Joe Montana jersey, or if you want to go current players, why not do that as well? Fred Warner, baller, right? How about George Kittle? I mean, another guy who is awesome. So I'd go for those current players or some of those past players. If you want to upgrade your closet and get a new 49ers home jersey, tell you what, that scarlet red, the gold, the white, really, really fresh. So hopefully I gave you some good recommendations there as to what 49ers jersey to get to add to your closet. And if you do make a purchase right now, let us know in the comment section which jersey you do get. So we talked about the running backs a couple of times throughout this Q&A mailbag. Who is your favorite 49ers running back on the team right now? I think they have 4, 5, 6 really good ones. Get your votes in the comment section below. We'll do some quick shout-outs. Let me know your favorite running back currently on the roster. Raheem Mostert, a lot of people are high on. Wayne Gallman, nice signing from the New York Giants last year. Elijah Mitchell, 4.3 speed. A lot of people excited about that 6th-round pick out of Louisiana. Trey Sermon in the 3rd round. I think his jump from 2019 to 2020 was pretty incredible. I'm seeing Mostert. I'm seeing Trey Sermon. I'm seeing Jeff Wilson. I'm seeing Trey Sermon again. So let me know your favorite running back in the comment section. Another Jeff Wilson. Somebody said to No's question, Lance jersey, show spirit. Hey, if Trey Lance is playing for the next decade, that's a good jersey to get. Raheem Mostert, Trey Sermon. Somebody said Richard Sherman, if you want to rock a jersey. Hey, why not? Jeff Wilson, UNT alum. That's where producer Jeremy went to school, as well as Marshall, our behind-the-scenes extraordinaire. A lot of votes coming in for Raheem Mostert. He has said he's one of the fastest players across the entire NFL, and when he's been able to stay on the field, he can take it to the crib anytime. So Raheem Mostert is a pretty solid option, too. We'll see if he's on the roster as well, or if the 49ers decide to go with a youth movement. Mick Angel just chiming in and saying, hey, I'm watching from Montreal, Canada. So that goes to show you the power of the 49ers report. We have people watching from every single corner of the United States, as well as across the entire world. United States, different continents, including Canada. Appreciate all of you for making the 49ers report and Chat Sports a part of your day. We about to move on, Jeremy? Is that the plan? Okay, cool. So, hey, once again, I'm new to the 49ers report. I took over officially last week. Show me some support and go follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Chase_Senior. Already gave some shout outs to some of you out there who did give me a follow. That's at Chase_Senior on both Twitter and Instagram. Coming up, we're about to break down this 49ers 2021 schedule, and I'm going to give you my win-loss record for the 49ers, looking at every single game. But before we get started, if you're pumped up for some San Francisco 49ers football, like this video and hit that thumbs up icon. I cannot wait to see the 49ers back in action, because if they stay healthy, I think they could be Super Bowl bound. So the 49ers schedule summed up real quick. 4 primetime games, couple of Sunday nights, a Monday night, and a Thursday night. They have an early bye week, which occurs on week 6. And as a reminder to everybody who might have been in a hole and doesn't even realize, it's going to be an 18-week schedule, 17-game season. And the 49ers, they're going to have to travel a lot here in 2021. They have the most net travel miles across the entire NFL. What that means is that's the accumulation of all of the miles that the 49ers travel, in addition to how far other teams have to travel to Santa Clara at Levi Stadium to play the 49ers. Let's first look at the first 5 games for the 49ers. Week 1 against the Detroit Lions. Week 2 against the Philadelphia Eagles. Week 3 against the Green Bay Packers on Sunday Night Football. Week 4 against the Seattle Seahawks. Week 5 on the road against the Arizona Cardinals. So let's start breaking down all of these games, and I will give you my win-loss record for each game throughout this 17-game schedule. Let's start off with this Lions game. So the 49ers heading into week 1 are the largest favorites among all teams in the NFL in week 1. Touchdown favorites. And I like to smash that number. I think the 49ers are going to win by more than a touchdown, and they're going to have no problem against a rebuilding Detroit Lions team that, you have an experienced quarterback in Jared Goff, but an inexperienced head coach in Dan Campbell, and a roster that is just rebuilding and has a bunch of new pieces, whereas the 49ers are really experienced. They should boat race Detroit in week 1 and make a statement. Week 2, 49ers stay on the road. I'm interested to see if the 49ers are going to go from Detroit and just fly right to Philadelphia instead of going from Santa Clara to Detroit, back to California, across the country to Philadelphia. Nick Sirianni, brand new head coach for the Eagles. He is very unproven. I think the 49ers to start off the 2021 campaign, reel off back-to-back road wins. They return home to Levi Stadium in Week 3 to hopefully take on Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. I had the 49ers going 3-0 off the bat to start the season. Why is that? The Green Bay Packers, in my opinion, they're somewhat soft. They have had, under Matt LaFleur, a lot of trouble against physical teams. What's the identity of the 49ers? A very physical team, both offensively and defensively. Come on, we saw what happened in those two games back in 2019. I think the 49ers match up well with Green Bay, and they win in Week 3. Week 4, 49ers at home again. Welcome in the heated rival, the Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson and the boys coming into town. I think the 49ers go red hot to start off the season, and they beat Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. This is going to be a close game, a physical game, in what has become one of the best rivalries across the entire NFL. Give me the 49ers in a close win over Seattle. Week 5, 49ers go back onto the road to Glendale, Arizona, to take on Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury, and the Arizona Cardinals. I like the additions that the Cardinals made throughout the offseason. They bulked up defensively, they identified positions of need offensively, and this is a Cardinals team that in 2020 took a jump forward and finished a surprising 8-8. They were one of my breakout teams last year. I think this is just a tough spot for the 49ers, and it's their third road trip. This is just a down week for the 49ers, and they do fall in a close one to the Arizona Cardinals. This week-by-week schedule breakdown and prediction here on the 49ers Report is brought to you by our sportsbook partner, BetUS. This deal that we have going on, it's one of the best out there, and I think it beats and overtakes any deal from any sportsbook. You go to chatsports.com/49bet and enter the promo code Niners125. You get a 125% deposit bonus. So if you deposit $100 into your account, you get $225 of virtually free money if you use that link down below, chatsports.com/49bet. And I don't know about you all, I love making wagers and putting money down because I love making lettuce. Here are some bets that you can place right now on BetUS. 49ers over-under for wins set at 10.5. San Francisco to win the NFC, plus 550. How about San Francisco to win the division, plus 175? And the 49ers to win the Super Bowl, 14-1 odds. I kind of like that value. After the show, I might place that bet. So once again, chatsports.com/49bet. Enter the promo code Niners125. And with that link, you get a 125% deposit bonus. Let's move ahead. Week 6, the 49ers have a bye. They get to rest after a difficult stretch there from weeks 3 through 5. Week 7, they take on the Indianapolis Colts at home on Sunday Night Football. Week 8, they travel to Soldier Field to take on the Chicago Bears. Week 9, back at home for a rematch with the Arizona Cardinals. I can't wait to see what the 49ers do up against the Colts in Week 7. And I think this is a game where you're going to find out how good the 49ers are and how good the Colts are. This is going to be an early litmus test to see how for real both of these teams are. Is Carson Wentz going to be able to rebound from a disastrous, nightmarish 2020 campaign? I think he's going to be much better. This is a Colts team that went 11-5. I think they upgrade at that position. 49ers, on the other hand, if they're healthy, going up against a well-rounded team in Indianapolis that I think could make a deep run in the playoffs, I think they're going to rise to the occasion on primetime, and they're going to pick up a win here. Week 8, 49ers go to Soldier Field. Here's what I'm keeping an eye on. Say Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't start the season well, and he just doesn't look good at all. Could the 49ers start Trey Lance against Justin Fields if Justin Fields overtakes Andy Dalton as the starter, and we see Justin Fields and Trey Lance going head-to-head in Week 8? The ratings would pop off for sure, but I do think that the 49ers, traveling to the Midwest, have a little bit of a travel hangover, and they do drop this game. 1 o'clock Eastern, early on the West Coast. We see some West Coast teams be in a funk in those situations, so I think the 49ers could lose this game. Looking ahead to Week 9, rematch with the Cardinals, I think the 49ers look back at that rematch from earlier on in the season and they say, we can't get swept by the Arizona Cardinals. They make some adjustments. They end up winning this game. And through 8 games, I had the 49ers at 6-2 on the season, which is a great spot to be in at the almost midway point in this now 17-game schedule. Looking ahead, weeks 10 through 14. You take on the Rams on Monday Night Football at home. Week 11 against the Jaguars. Week 12 against the Vikings. Week 13 on the road against the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday Night Football. Week 14 against the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's go back up to the top with this game against the Rams. We know that this has become a great rivalry across the National Football League. And in years past, Kyle Shanahan has had Sean McVay's number. I mean, he's bludgeoned him. And the 49ers have dominated the Rams with Kyle Shanahan taking on Sean McVay. I think that finally Sean McVay is able to get a signature win on the road against the 49ers, and the Niners drop this one against a Rams team that I'm excited to see what they bring to the table with Matt Stafford. He's a clear upgrade over Jared Goff. I think he adds an explosive element to this Rams offense, which really needed it because they were so stagnant under Jared Goff. And let's not get it twisted. They lose Brandon Staley, who's now the head coach of the Chargers, but that defense is still loaded. So I think that defense does cause the 49ers offense some fits, and the Niners drop this one. Week 11, though, they cross the country. They go about as far east as you can, really, to Jacksonville to take on Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence. There's no way that the 49ers lose this game against a team that, yes, is on the up and up because I like what they did in the offseason. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be a stud. They went 1-15 last year, though. This is a lineup and a roster that has a lot of holes. 49ers should have absolutely zero problems in this game against the Jags, and they win big and cover the spread, whatever that spread is. Week 12 against the Minnesota Vikings, 49ers come back home to Levi Stadium. I think the Vikings are going to improve from last year. That defense was terrible. And I think this is going to be a pretty solid matchup that goes back and forth and comes down to the wire between two teams who are going to be fighting for playoff spots. And at this point in the season, coming down the stretch, you really have to string together wins against signature opponents. This is going to be one of those for the Niners against the Vikings. Week 13, it's always a tough game when you have to go to Seattle, and we're expecting NFL stadiums to be at full capacity in the fall. Let's at least hope so. This is going to be a Sunday Night Football game on December 5th, 8:20 Eastern, and the crowd is going to be raucous, and they're going to be juiced up for what has become one of the best and most vicious rivalries across the entire league. 49ers lose this game after beating the Seahawks earlier on at home, and they do split the season series with Seattle. Week 14 against the Cincinnati Bengals, Niners win this one. I do think it is close, though. Don't be fooled by the Bengals' 4-11-1 record, though. They were better than a lot of people thought they were last year, and they were really competitive in a lot of one-score games when Joe Burrow was the quarterback. I think they make a little bit of a leap this upcoming season, but the 49ers do win a close one, and through 13 games, I have the 49ers sitting pretty at 9-4. For the latest rumors, news, live shows, hard-hitting analysis, but also a lot of entertainment and fun, subscribe to the 49ers Report and support us here at Chat Sports. Hit that big red button down below or go to youtube.com/49erstv and subscribe now for the best, most fun, hard-hitting, entertaining 49ers coverage here on YouTube. Let's round out these schedule predictions with the final 4 games of the 2021 campaign. Week 15, at home against the Atlanta Falcons, Kyle Shanahan takes on the team that he used to be the offensive coordinator for and took them to the Super Bowl. Matt Ryan won the MVP that season. Week 16, a short week against the Titans on Thursday Night Football. It's going to be difficult. We'll break that down here in just a minute. Week 17, 49ers come back home to California to take on the awful Houston Texans, the dumpster fire Houston Texans. And Week 18, much anticipated matchup to round out the regular season against the Los Angeles Rams. Let's take a further and deep dive look at this Week 15 matchup against the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons, like some of the other teams that I've talked about, the Bengals, were awful in one-score games last year. I think with Arthur Smith as the new head coach, with Matt Ryan rebounding because he has Arthur Smith as the head coach, and you saw what Ryan Tannehill did with Smith when he was his offensive coordinator with the Tennessee Titans, takes a leap forward. And this Falcons team is much more competitive in an NFC South division that I think is pretty fascinating. This is a game that comes down to the wire. a playoff rematch from the 2017 season, I believe, right? I think. And the 49ers win this game against the Falcons in Week 15. Moving ahead to Week 16. Difficult position to be in when you have to play the Atlanta Falcons and then travel across the country on a short week to play a really talented, really physical Tennessee Titans team. So you go from playing a prolific offensive attack on Sunday to playing Derrick Henry and having to match up against him on a short week, December 23rd, against the Tennessee Titans. That's a really, really difficult matchup in Nashville at Tennessee. Appreciate Jeremy for changing the location there. I think the 49ers lose this game. But as we look ahead to Week 17 and Week 18, 49ers come back home against the Houston Texans. I don't care if Deshaun Watson suits up this year or not. 49ers win this game running away. They have no problems at all with a Houston team that is depleted. I'm not a huge believer in David Caldwell as head coach. And let's be honest, Week 17, as the 49ers are battling for playoff positioning and coming down the home stretch here, if you lose this game, that's an epic disaster. So give me a big fat dub for the 49ers in Week 17 against the Texans. Lastly, Week 18 against the Los Angeles Rams. Boy, this comes down to it. It's going to be a wonderful matchup, and I think the NFC West could come down to this game in Week 18. Kind of a repeat of a late season matchup last year when the 49ers won against the Rams and had no problems. Kyle Shanahan gets back at Sean McVay after Sean McVay got the 49ers earlier on this season, and the 49ers come through with a staple win. And let's say it right here. They lock up the NFC West with this Week 18 matchup against the Rams. Kyle Shanahan once again has Sean McVay's number in a big game. Who knows who's the quarterback at this point, but the 49ers beat the Rams, and they finish the season at a pretty prolific 12-5. So I'm going 12-5 for the 49ers here in 2021. Predict the 49ers record for me in the comment section below. Let me know how you think they do and get your votes in. Let's do some shout outs right now. Let me know how you think the 49ers are going to do here in the 2021 season. Joe Hicks asking me, is that fake hair? No, it's not. I'll pull it for you. This is not a toupee. This is real hair, and I am very blessed that I have a great head of hair because I love my lettuce on the top. It is not fake hair. I am not wearing a toupee, but if you think it looks fake, does that just mean that the flow is on point? I don't know. Maybe. Let's get back to some shout-outs here. Praveen saying 17-0. Joseph saying the 49ers are going to go 14-3. David Vielma, 13-4. Edward James, 12-5. Joseph, 14-3. Noe saying Super Bowl champs. Mackenzie saying Stafford isn't going to do anything against this 49ers team. David saying 13-4. Hitworks TV, 17-3. I guess that would include some postseason games as well. Praveen saying 20-0. Okay, I see you. Shanav saying 13-4 as he predicts the 49ers record. Joe saying nice shirt dork. So first you asked me if I had fake hair. Now you're saying nice shirt dork. I mean, it's a pretty nice shirt. I mean, the material is awesome. I really, really like it. No wrinkles at all either. I'm rocking out. But hey, thanks for watching and supporting the show. You can rip me all you want. It's all good. Vance, 12-5. Good call. Okay, so you agree with me that the 49ers do go 12-5. 18-0 from Mickey209 Fades. Vance, 12-5. It is a nice shirt. I appreciate that. Yeah, hey, I don't like your vibe. Hey, I mean, not everybody likes me. If you don't please everybody, you're not doing it right, you trigger me. Okay, all right, Joe. It's all good, bro. It's all good, bro. If you have a question, use hashtag 49ers or super chat us, and I will answer your questions, Joe. And you can let me know why you don't like me. But yes, this hair is real. This shirt, I think it's awesome. Got it back a couple weeks ago. But okay, cool. Appreciate you. All right, coming up, our second live Q&A mailbag here on the 49ers Report, live here on Chat Sports. A couple ways to get involved. You can use the hashtag 49ers or super chat us. If you super chat us, which we've gotten a couple of those throughout the show, that allows you to overtake everybody and we answer your questions first. So get your questions in, once again, by using hashtag 49ers or super chat us. And by doing that, you definitely support the show. This 49ers mailbag here on the 49ers Report is brought to you by our sportsbook partner at BetUS. If you use the promo code Niners125, you get a 125% deposit bonus. So that means if you deposit $100, then that turns into $225, and you can make some awesome wagers on the 49ers this year. We have some odds coming up for you on this mailbag. David Mielma chiming in with another question. Appreciate that $5 super chat. Who do you think is our best free agent pickup? I like Samson Ebukam, beast right there. I think Samson Ebukam is a signing that kind of flew under the radar a little bit. A lot of people don't know what position he plays, whether or not he's going to be a traditional edge rusher or if he's going to play linebacker. I think you just use him as an edge rusher and you just cater to his skill set and his strengths. Just let him pin his ears back, be aggressive, and get after the quarterback. He was really impressive in a short sample size with Brandon Staley's defense last year with the Los Angeles Rams. And when I went back and watched him, he definitely flashed at times. And I think if he gets more playing time, that could be a really good value signing by the 49ers. Another question coming in from Charles Keller. What are your thoughts on the Warner contract? When do you think we will extend? I believe he's a must to keep the captain of our defense. You have to sign Fred Warner to a contract extension. I know I'm new to the 49ers Report. I just started at Chat Sports on March 1st, but one of my favorite players to watch in the 2020 season was Fred Warner. He was one of those players where when you're watching a game, you don't watch the ball. You just watch him roam and ruin and wreak havoc in games because he just has that sideline-to-sideline speed, the physicality, and that nasty nature to him. I think he's going to be a stud for a really long time, and I think the 49ers would be foolish not to sign him to a large contract. I would do that ASAP if I'm John Lynch or Kyle Shanahan. Shanav N. Trade for Deshaun Hamilton. He got released by the Denver Broncos. Maybe. I don't think the 49ers are going to trade for him, but they do need some wide receiver depth. Deshaun Hamilton is more of a big-bodied wide receiver. He's a little bit more physical than the guys that they have on the roster. I think they need like a jump ball wide receiver. Does he fit that bill? I'm not sure. You want to take a chance on Deshaun Hamilton? Maybe, but I don't know if that's in the cards for the 49ers. How about this question from Sammy Slaps? Do you think Nick Bosa can return to form and be as good as his rookie year? No doubt about it, Sammy Slaps. I think Nick Bosa, who was one of the best defenders, not just rookie defenders, one of the best defenders in the league back in 2019 after the 49ers used that high draft pick on him, was exceptional. 2019 in that Super Bowl season, 47 tackles, 9 sacks, 17 tackles for loss, elite numbers for a rookie. And as medical advances have been made, torn ACLs, not the same injuries that they once were when they would seriously ruin players' careers. I've seen videos of Nick Bosa working out. He looks really explosive. He looks really strong. I think he does return to form, and he produces for this 49ers defense and is a huge reason why this 49ers defense under first-year defensive coordinator DeMeco Ryans is one of the best in the entire league. How about this question? Over under 10.5 sacks for Nick Bosa this season. 9 as a rookie back in 2019. Is he going to surpass 10 or 10.5? Get your votes in down below. You can just type something as simple as O for over 10.5 or U for under. I'm going to go ahead and say I think Nick Bosa does have more than 10.5 sacks. Why do I think that? This 49ers defensive line has a lot of talent across the board. So the focus isn't solely going to be on Nick Bosa, nor can it be, because there are other options that you have to hone in on if you're the offensive line. So I'm going to go and smash that over. And maybe that's a bet I make thanks to BetUS prior to this season. Next question coming in from Preachy Goblin. I think you would be awesome rocking some 49ers gear. Sometime soon, I'll be rocking the scarlet red, the white, and the gold. I think I'd look pretty good too. We had a guy ripping my shirt. I wonder if he would say the same thing if I was rocking some 49ers gear. So tell the bosses to get me some 49ers gear, and I'll rock it on the show for you. This question coming in from Ephraim, who I know is an avid watcher of the 49ers Report. What's up with Jalen Hurd? That guy ever going to play? I like his skill set. Yeah, I like his skill set too, just hasn't been able to stay on the field. Jalen Hurd tore his ACL early on last year. He's expected to be back and fully recover from that aforementioned torn ACL. I talk about the 49ers needing a jump ball wide receiver and a physical presence on the outside because Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk aren't necessarily those guys. If Jalen Hurd is healthy, he can be that type of player because he possesses those qualities. And if he's full strength and healthy, I think he can be really good. It really just all comes down to health. I appreciate that question. This 49ers Q&A mailbag, all brought to you by our sportsbook partner, BetUS. This deal sounds fake, but I promise you it's real and it is not fake news. If you go to chatsports.com/49bet and enter the promo code Niners125, you get a 125% deposit bonus. That is a better deal than any sportsbook out there. I promise you that. And if you're in a state that hasn't legalized sports gambling yet, doesn't matter. You can still use that deal, and you have to use that link. So go to chatsports.com/49bet. You get a 125% deposit bonus. And speaking of putting down some cheddar and laying some wagers, how about these ones right here that I cooked up for you? 49ers over-under for wins set at 10.5. I just predicted that the 49ers are going to win 12. I'm smashing the over. San Francisco to win the NFC, plus 550. Pretty good value there because they have a talented roster that could do that. San Francisco to win the NFC West, plus 175, and the 49ers to win the Super Bowl at plus 1,400, meaning that is 14-1 odds for the 49ers to raise the Lombardi Trophy. Hey, you can get all those bets in thanks to our sportsbook partner at BetUS by using that link at the bottom of your screen, as well as that promo code. Noe, $5 super chat. You the man. You're going to help give us beer. You're awesome. Could Alfredo Gutierrez beat out McGlinchey at right tackle? I don't think so. Alfredo Gutierrez, who hails from Mexico and is a developmental story, kind of like what Alejandro Villanueva was coming out of Army, who entered the league with Chip Kelly and the Eagles back several years ago, found a firm spot with the Pittsburgh Steelers and was a long-term starter, very durable too. I don't think he ever missed a game. You put Alfredo Gutierrez in that category where it's going to take a lot of time. You're very intrigued by the skills as well as the size and the athleticism, but I think I was reading that Gutierrez can't be on the active roster this year, so that's more of a play for the future. Good question, though, because those types of stories, they're fascinating to follow because I just think the development of players like that is just wild. Talking of UDFAs, this question from Mac, who is your favorite undrafted free agent signing this year? Let's see. Elijah Sullivan's up there. Justin Hilliard, I think, has the most realistic opportunity to make the roster of any of the UDFAs. That's a guy who is a 5-star recruit coming out of high school, signed on with the Buckeyes. He just had to deal with a plethora of injuries. Here are some of the UDFAs, the last four. Alfredo Gutierrez, not included. Justin Hilliard, Josh Peterson, Elijah Sullivan, Austin Watkins. Those are the UDFAs that the 49ers actually officially signed today. I like Justin Hilliard. I think he can make the roster right away because he has special teams experience with Ohio State. So I'm going to go ahead and say him. But Austin Watkins, another good name, who's a big body wide receiver. Another question coming in from David Vielma. Other than Bosa, who could command a double team with a healthy D-line? I think you mean on the 49ers roster. I'm not sure. 49ers restructured the contract of D Ford. If he's healthy, I think he can be productive. Injury is a huge issue there. Javon Kinlaw is a beast. I mean, Javon Kinlaw flashed at times as a rookie last year. High draft pick out of South Carolina, first-round pick at that. And I think he's going to make a big leap to his second year, so I'm going to go with those guys. Johnny Coolwater, do you think Kyle is a good head coach? I think he's a good play caller, but his head coach calls can be highly suspect. Too many runs on 3rd and long and passes on 1st down. Johnny Coolwater, if you're not high on Kyle Shanahan, I think you're a little bit crazy. Kyle Shanahan is one of the best coaches across the entire NFL, one of the most innovative and creative offensive play callers. And look, the lone season that he had, stability at quarterback with Jimmy Garoppolo, They made it to the Super Bowl. So why I'm so excited about Trey Lance coming to the Bay is because of Kyle Shanahan. He finally gets to develop a young quarterback prospect and can mold him like a ball of clay. So I think you're going to see with the development of Trey Lance that Kyle Shanahan is truly elite as a head coach. Pitter Patter 007 chiming in. We didn't have a 1,000-yard receiver last year and didn't draft a wide receiver this year. Will we have a 1,000-yard receiver this year? Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, certainly capable of that. So too is George Kittle. I know George Kittle is a tight end, but those three guys, highly capable of compiling 1,000 yards in the air game. So I think all of them can accumulate more than 1,000 yards if they're able to stay healthy. So yeah, I think it's totally possible. Pitter Patter 007, James Bond swag. So I say that and I pose this question. Will the 49ers have a 1,000-yard receiver? Good job by producer Jeremy for cooking up this question really quickly. If you think the 49ers could have a 1,000-yard receiver this season, type Y for yes or type N for no. Get your votes in the comment section below. I mean, Noe GQ Pena. He's a real OG. $10 for beers and a burger. I hope McGlinchey eats a lot of burgers before the season. Doesn't even ask a question, but chimes in with a $10 super chat. He's a real one and a real OG and a guy who continues to support the 49ers Report. We might even say that you solely fund the 49ers Report with all those super chats. You're the man. And maybe McGlinchey does indulge in some burgers before the season. Makes me hungry for a burger too. Hopefully you're eating up. We're eating up because you're paying us. Good looks on that. Shanav, trade for Tim Patrick. The wide receiver for the Broncos? I would probably say no. But yeah, I don't really think that you need to. Maybe you look at a UDFA, like Austin Watkins, to make this roster without having to give up assets and make a trade. I don't really think you have to pull the trigger on a deal like that. Do me a favor here. Hey, support the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. We're bringing you the latest news, rumors, off-season updates, and more. The best part about the 49ers Report, it is all free. This is the best 49ers coverage here on YouTube. So subscribe to the channel because we're pushing out 49ers videos every single day. That link down below, youtube.com/49erstv, or if you see that red subscribe button down below, smash that. We just surpassed 35,000 subscribers. Appreciate all of you for supporting the show and continue to do so if you haven't done so already. And as I've said, somewhat new to the 49ers Report, so you can support me as well. Give me a follow on Twitter and Instagram at Chase_Senior. The link for my Twitter page as well as my Instagram is in the description down below. Or you can just go on Twitter and IG, pull those social media feeds up, and give me a follow at Chase_Senior. Are we not going to Loop? Not going to Loop. Okay, we usually go to Loop. We are not going to go on Loop. So here's a reminder. The 49ers Report goes live every single Thursday, just like we're doing right now, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. So that's another incentive to subscribe to the 49ers Report and turn those notifications on. Therefore, anytime we come out with a new video, you get notified. Anytime we do go live, you get notified as well. So once again, subscribe to the 49ers Report by hitting that big red button down below or go to youtube.com/49erstv, and we go live every single Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific here on the 49ers Report. That's going to do it for us here from Chat Sports. Once again, give me a follow on Twitter and Instagram at Chase_Senior. If you have any remaining questions about the 49ers, give me a follow and slide into my DMs.